Good morning everyone, Jordan here, welcome. So today is a very special day for me because I'm collecting my brand new Tesla Model 3 Performance today. So I'm going to be heading down to near Heathrow in London. I've got to get a few trains to get down there. It's going to be a bit of a hectic journey. But I'm going over there, and 2 p.m. this afternoon I'm going to be picking up my brand new Tesla Model 3 and then driving it back home and plugging it in to my new Zappy EV charging point that I installed. So if you enjoyed this video, as always, hit a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you'd like more Tesla videos. I can certainly make some more if I know that you're interested in them. Thanks for watching and enjoy the video. So I'm here in King's Cross and it's absolutely empty, hardly anyone around, and everyone's maintaining social distancing. The first leg of the journey was very easy, so I'm hoping the rest of the journey will be just as smooth. Well, hello. Guess where I am? I'm talking to you right now from the inside of my new Tesla Model 3. And as you can see, I'm just a little bit excited. So I went over and collected my Model 3 this morning from the Tesla warehouse in near Heathrow Airport. It was quite an interesting long trek over there. Basically, we had to get the train. So we got a train into London, then an underground train, and then another train out of London into near Heathrow Airport. And then we walked from there, about 15-minute walk to the Tesla warehouse. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the collection procedure, really, because it kind of took me by surprise. And I think you'll be interested to know how it goes. So settle down, grab yourself a cup of tea, and I'll tell you all about it. So the Tesla collection process was simpler and kind of scarily simple. So simple that I just kind of thought, is this real? I almost had to pinch myself. So yesterday I received an email just to say, can you sign this document please to confirm that you've received the vehicle? And I kind of thought, but I've not received it yet, so how can I sign something to say that I've received it when I've not received it? But I looked through it and they said, yeah, you need to sign it beforehand because we're doing contactless delivery, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to have to trust them. So I signed this document online. And then basically, you know, a few days before that, maybe like a week ago, I had a text message with my delivery, well, pickup date, shall we say, 2 p.m. on Thursday, the 4th of June. So, first of all, something to note, they don't let you choose your delivery slot. They just give it to you and you better be there basically to collect it, which is kind of a little bit annoying if you've got a busy schedule and you've got to make time for it. But I guess that's the way that they can be more efficient and get as many deliveries and handovers out as possible. Because the guy said to me, bearing in mind we're still in like COVID-19 situation, he said to me that they're doing 50 a day at the moment. So imagine handing over 50 cars a day. They've got to kind of be quite tight and well organised with the slots. So anyway, we arrived over at Tesla, and a lovely sort of warehouse place with loads of beautiful cars outside. and you just ring on the doorbell. They got a video doorbell, and the guy says hello, and then you just tell them who you are, and you say, I've got a Model 3 to collect, blah, blah, blah. My name is so and so. All he asked me was, what is the colour? And I told him it was white. And then he was like, okay, I'll be out with you in a minute. 2 minutes later, he came out, drove the car, just brought the car around, parked it in a parking space right in front of me, got out of the car and said, there you go, enjoy your new Tesla. And that was it. He gave me, he said, oh, the keys are inside. So the keys are just on the B pillar here in the middle. And that was it. I was shocked. I was like, don't you need to, check my ID to make sure I am who I say I am before I drive off this 55 grand car? Or don't you need to check that I've got insurance? Nothing. It was literally the most relaxed car handover experience that I've ever had. So I kind of almost felt a bit suspicious, like this is just weird, this feels kind of wrong, just to get in it and drive off. So I thought, okay, well, I better kind of check it over, make sure everything's okay. So I very thoroughly examined around the car, checked everything, make sure there weren't any scratches or dents or anything glaringly obvious, and it was absolutely fine. Opened the boot, checked what was in the boot. There's a 13 amp charging cable in there, but there wasn't a normal Type 2 charging cable. And I thought, okay, maybe it doesn't come with one. I was just about to drive off, and then the guy next to me, who was checking his over, he was much more organised than I was, and he had a checklist with all these things that he needed to check before he drove away with the vehicle, which in hindsight I should have probably done. So a little tip for you there, if you're ever collecting a Tesla, bring a checklist and just check through the things, make sure that you've got everything that you're supposed to have. Because I noticed that he had a blue Type 2 cable in his boot, and I didn't have one. And I said, I'm pretty sure mine's the performance version and his is the long range version. And I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure I should have one of those as well. So just before I was about to drive off, I just went back to the guy at the entrance and said, hey, I'm missing a blue charging cable. Type 2 cable, and he said, sorry about that, I'll go and get you one straight away, and he just came out and gave me one. But if I hadn't have noticed, I'd have just driven off without it, and then probably at the end of the 3-year lease, when they tried to get the car back, they would have gone, where's the £200 charging cable that we gave you, and they would have probably charged me for it. So good job I checked. So there's a little tip for you there. Probably good to just bring a checklist and make sure that everything that's supposed to be there is there, because they are in a little bit of a hurry, shall we say. I mean, they weren't pressuring me to drive off or anything. The guy was just like, take as long as you need, look around the car, when you're ready, all you need to do is just drive off. Let me know. He said, let me know once you've checked it and that you're happy with it, and then I will sign off on the delivery to say that it has been delivered. So when he signed that off, then it appears in my Tesla app automatically in the car. The car appears in the app as well. So that's all done. And that was it then. I just drove off. So we drove an hour and a half back from Heathrow Airport to home, back here in Cambridge. And it was a great drive, I must admit. It's a bit nervy at first when you have never driven an electric vehicle before, or you're not used to driving an automatic before. There's that whole thing that you have to get used to of not having to change gears and basically never having to press the brake pedal, because with the regenerative braking you just take your foot off the accelerator and it automatically starts to slow down. So I had a couple of sort of jerky moments where I went to put the clutch down and basically slammed on the brakes, which is a little bit embarrassing, but I guess everyone goes through that little teething process. I have driven one of these before, but it was just a test drive for like 20 minutes at the Tesla showroom in Cambridge. They just send you out and you could go out for a spin in it for sort of 20 minutes. So I did that, but that's the only time I've actually driven an electric vehicle before this. So yeah, it was nice to drive it home. I tested out autopilot as well, and adaptive cruise control and all that. I had it on autopilot almost all the way home actually, because we were on the M25, and so I just cruised around the M25 with autopilot on and chatted to my wife on the way home, and it was a very, relaxing drive. And range wise, I got home, I had about 90 miles range left. When I left the Tesla showroom, I had 200 miles, so I used about 110 miles of range getting home. And I've got my nice Zappy tethered charger here at home, so as soon as I got home I just plugged it in, and it's been charging for nearly 2 hours now, and I'm up to 140 miles of range already. The total range on this is about 304 miles, so it's got a very good range on it, but obviously it depends how you drive. I did kind of test the acceleration out a little bit on my way home because I wanted to see how good it could go, and boy, this is a powerful machine. I tell you, the acceleration is just absolutely insane, ridiculous, really. You've sort of got to be careful that you don't make your passengers feel sick. It's that fast. So you just put your foot down and it's just instant speed, you know, at 0 to 60, 3 seconds. 3 seconds. You know, there's a lot of supercars that won't do that. So this is an absolute amazing machine, really. And for the price, it's just incredible. And it's so cheap to run because there's no tax, no congestion charge, and it's so cheap to charge. It's, you know, you can run off super cheap electricity, so it's basically almost free to run, and there's no maintenance as well. There's no servicing needed apart from changing tyres and changing the windscreen wiper fluid. That's basically it. And I've got it on a 3-year lease. I'll only be doing about 10,000 miles a year anyway, so I probably won't even need to change the tyres within that time. So all I've got to do is change the wiper fluid basically, and that's just about it. So this is the main display on my Tesla Model 3, and as you can see, I've got it plugged in and charging at the moment. I'm currently up to 147 miles of range, but this particular version, the Tesla Model 3 Performance Edition dual motor, goes up to 304 miles of range in total. So I'm only about half charged. And as you can see here on the screen, it tells me how much time I have remaining before my vehicle is fully charged. So I'm currently charging at 32 amps or about 7 kilowatts depending on the voltage. I think my charge is telling me it's about 7.8 kilowatts it's charging at the moment, and that means it's so far it's charging at 28 miles per hour. So in other words, for each hour that you charge it, you add 28 miles of range, and so far during this charging session I've added 62 miles of range. So I've been charging for just over 2 hours now. It's charging at full 32 amps out of the 32 amps possible, and it's charging at 234, 33 volts. Obviously that fluctuates slightly depending on the load that's happening within the system and within the road that you live on. Where other houses are pulling more power, that will tend to ramp the voltage down a little bit, but it doesn't tend to affect your charge very much. So you can actually stop charging from within the vehicle by just pressing the stop charging button. But I'm going to jump out now and just show you the Zappy charger, how it plugs in and what it does when it's connected. So here we are, and this is the Zappy cable plugged into my Tesla Model 3, and there is the Zappy charger itself. When the vehicle is charging, it flashes green like this to say that it's charging, and if I do stop charging, then it will actually go a different colour. So the great thing about Zappy is it monitors how much electricity you're using from the grid and how much is going into your vehicle. So at the top here it says that I'm using 7.8 kilowatts from the grid, and actually 7.8 or 7.7 of that is going into my car. That means I'm only using about 0.1 kilowatts for the actual house. And it's on fast charging mode at the moment. That means that it will charge as fast as possible. You can have it on eco mode, where you can charge it from your solar panels if you've got them, and eco plus mode, which will literally only charge from your solar panels when they are producing excess electricity, which is great if you have the car plugged in during the day and you are producing excess electricity. You can benefit from that free electricity and drive your car in sunshine basically. So far during this charging session I've used 17.5 kilowatt hours of electricity, And as you can see here, we've got the date and time. Actually, those are incorrect. I need to change those. So if I press the menu button, I've got various functions around here. But in the Tesla app, I can actually stop it from charging, or I can do so using the screen. So if I just click here, stop charging. So the MyEnergy Zappy comes in a tethered version, which is the one that I've got, a Type 2 tethered plug. It's 6.5 meters long, so nice and long for most situations. You can get a Type 2 socketed version as well, so untethered, where you've just got a socket in here and you can just use an external charging cable to plug in directly to the charging point. So I've now stopped it from charging, and as you can see, the light's gone from green to white. That means I can actually unplug the charging cable and show you what the charging port's like. So this is what we call a Type 2. Oh. Let's unlock that again. Yeah, this is a Type 2. And then this is what we call a CCS, which is for the fast DC charging. So for the Tesla Superchargers, for example, they use both of these together to do super fast charging. This is my Type 2 cable from my MyEnergy Zappy charger. And to start charging, all I do is plug it in like that. It goes blue. My charger kicks in, which you can hear the contactor kicking in there. And then it goes green to say that it's charging. Green flashing means that it's charging. And it's simple as that, really. One of the nice things about this is it ramps up slowly. So it starts at sort of 2 kilowatts and it ramps up and up until it gets to its highest charge level, which is about 7.8, 7.9 kilowatts. So that just means it doesn't put a massive strain on the charger instantly. It sort of slowly increases the power consumption incrementally, which is a bit more gentle on the system, because these things do pull a lot of electricity, really.